Congressman Issa has a message for the feds about illegal immigration. Forget what you are doing and try this. Congressman Issa, ranking member of the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, went on the record. Congressman, thank you very much for joining us.
Well, thank you, Greta.
All right, it's no secret you don't like the lawsuit that the federal government has filed against the state of Arizona and Governor Brewer in official capacity. Why?
Because it's frivolous. There are a series of federal programs designed for states to help thwart illegal immigration. E-Verify is obviously one for employers. And then since before I came to Congress 10 years ago, we've had a program for arrested individuals to be checked before they're released. And if they're suspected of being unlawfully in the country, the ICE is supposed to come pick them up. All that Arizona is really doing is making these programs standard so they are effective, and now they're suddenly getting pushback. If anything, they've done a better job by having specific protections, including if you have any form of verified identification, a passport, an Arizona driver's license, another state driver's license, as long as they check for whether you're lawfully in the country at the time they issue it, all of those on their face get you dismissed immediately.
Well, here's the flip side of this, about this lawsuit, is that it's going to be swift. It's not going to take any evidence, it's not going to take witnesses. It's just going to be before a judge, and a judge will make a determination whether or not the statute does violate the supremacy clause of the Constitution or not. So it's not going to be a complicated process, and it should at least put that issue to rest, at least to the next fight.
If you believe that the judge says it's not violating the Constitution, that's the end of it, then you didn't practice law, and I know you did.
I did practice law, but it then goes up to the Ninth Circuit, but
right.
That's going to be 6 months, 8 months, a year down the road, and it becomes
if
so
the
much...
administration loses, they will ask for an expedited, immediate hearing. This is going to be pushed until the administration wins or loses at the Supreme Court, and they're counting on the supremacy clause, which is never intended to stop states from being part of helping the federal government in doing the same things.
There is no question in my mind the losing party is going to go to the Ninth Circuit. I don't disagree with you that, but it certainly sends a message. If the United States, the federal government, loses at this level, that is going to send a very blunt message to people who are critical, at least until the appeal is heard. Likewise, the fact that the United States didn't allow or didn't argue that the statute is unconstitutional because it racially profiles, that speaks volumes, although some people refuse to acknowledge that fact. But that speaks volumes. I mean, at least the lawsuit sorts it out, and it should be fast.
Well, I certainly believe that this will be sorted out quickly. On the other hand, when was the last time that the federal government came against the state proactively for its willingness to assist? Could you imagine if Arizona today said, you know what, we don't want to hear from the FBI on gang violence, on interstate trafficking, because you know what, we'll do our thing, you do your federal thing. There would be outrage if a state didn't participate.
Congressman, I think it's outrageous that the word illegal doesn't mean what it says. It says, I mean, illegal does mean illegal. And, you know, I'm not sure why it only means it's okay for some and not others. Every time you get picked up for shoplifting, that's illegal. We prosecute you, make it probation, but it's illegal. The problem is that the federal government really has not pursued, you know, people who are here illegally and come up with a resolution, whether it be arrest them and throw them out, or some program to get them integrated within our system, pass to citizenship, or whatever. The federal government has failed.
You're exactly right. And I think the point that you're getting to is the reason for the suit. The federal government wants to use enforcement as a chip, as a part of the bargaining to get comprehensive immigration reform, which in their case includes a pathway towards citizenship. In the case of Republicans, we tend to call it amnesty. But the fact is, they lose this bargaining tool if, in fact, states can individually say, no, just do your job. We don't want to hear about anything else except do your job.
What do you want President Obama to do?
I want President Obama to realize that the American people do not want amnesty. They're perfectly willing to support a viable guest worker program, but that's a guest worker program.
But that's after the securing of the borders. So your thought isn't first to secure the borders? You don't want that done immediately?
I believe that a combination of E-Verify and a reasonable amount of slots to take care of filling the slots where people are being sent out of the country is a simultaneous event. I think they've always been a simultaneous event. The problem is one side says enforce first, the other side says, you know what, give us amnesty and then we'll keep it from happening again. Both sides have to be willing to give. You can't have 6-7 million workers disappear at once. At the same time, you've got to have a program where people understand they're not going to get to stay here forever just because they came here illegally.
What's wrong with enforcing the borders first? And then once that has been done, there's been success in California, also in the Yuma sector, it's been successful. Why not secure the borders and then make a strong commitment to sit down and figure out what we're going to do with the other people who are here?
Greta, I'm absolutely for securing the borders. But let's understand that as a border congressman, the border is not the problem. I have checkpoints.
It's one problem. It is. I mean, people overstaying their visas is another problem. But we've got to start someplace in trying to resolve this problem. And so far, we're not getting any place because the two sides lock horns.
The border is important. And border enforcement and prosecution of coyotes, people trafficking in human beings, are important. But at the end of the day, the deal that really matters is the one Arizona's doing. E-Verify. Don't let people have a job if they're here illegally, and you will displace people quicker than anything else. And by the way, if you go through 3 E-Verifies and you can't get a worker, come see us. Tell us that you cannot get an American.
Use false identification. I mean, you can game E-Verify if you want. You can game it.
But you can never. You know, the Maginot Line failed the French because you can't just protect a border. You have to have staggered defense. The staggered defense has to be at the employment site. It makes all the difference in the world. It is the best way to reduce that 12 million down to 6 million overnight.
All right. I don't have any, I sort of think we do need a comprehensive solution as well, but I sort of sense that you're opposed to like an immediate securing the border. Are you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Greta, I have voted for the fence. I have voted for and worked for it. I also was the loudest voice getting Carol Lam fired for not prosecuting coyotes who were enabling people to circumvent our border patrol capability. All of that is critical, but we'll never have secure borders unless we also have interior enforcement, something Arizona is trying to assist the federal government in doing, and the Obama administration is trying to stop them from the only secondary protection that's ever going to make our jobs and our homes really safe.